Well, thank you very much for that kind introduction. I'll set my water down there, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, ambassadors, other members of government, and distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, as Minister of State for Science and Technology, I am absolutely delighted to be here with you today to outline the many ways that the Government of Canada is nurturing innovation and creativity among our great people in this country, so that Canada remains productive and competitive, yet in these turbulent economic times. And of course, that we remain well positioned for the future. While other countries have been in trouble for longer time, and most are in significantly worse shape than Canada, Canada does in fact remain above the fold, in part due to this government's actions beginning back in 2007. In preparing Canada's next step in our plan, the Economic Action Plan, the government consulted widely with Canadians, businesses, and all sectors from coast to coast to coast. Our government did do these consultations, and they revealed to us that families and businesses were looking for a government to respond in very targeted and yet creative ways that will help build Canada's economy and our recovery, as well as build a base for continued growth in the future. Now, the Economic Action Plan just recently released does exactly that. This is our plan to stimulate our economy, to protect Canadians during the global recession, and to invest in our long-term growth. Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that Canada's prosperity depends not just on meeting the challenges of today, and they are great, but on building a dynamic and resilient economy that will create business opportunities and better jobs for Canadians in the future. Combined and creative investments in science and technology will allow Canada to capitalize on opportunities in the 21st century and flourish in the fast-changing world. Our government understands that research and development is the lifeblood, and our researchers are the heart and soul of innovation. We know that support for science and technology today will reap benefits well into the future and in areas that we may not have even considered at the start. And that too is why, way back in 2007, Prime Minister Stephen Harper launched the country's science and technology strategy, which he called Mobilizing Science and Technology for Canada's Advantage. This was a broad, forward-thinking plan that will enable researchers, innovators, and businesses to improve Canada's productivity performance, while at the same time create high-quality, high-paying jobs and enhance quality of life through science and technology. Over the past 4 budgets, indeed every budget this government has brought forward, the government has increased funding for science and technology, and to date, more than $7 billion has been inputted to stimulate economic activity through science and technology. Of that amount, ladies and gentlemen, Budget 2009 accounts for $5.1 billion in various science and tech investments. This represents one of the single largest federal budget investments in the history of this country. Indeed, it represents a full 15% of the entire federal budget. We're investing in areas of strength, such as quantum computing and Arctic research. We're investing in areas of science through infrastructure. Indeed, most recently in this year's budget, we launched a $2 billion fund dedicated to repair, refit, and build at our universities and colleges. A further $750 million went to the Canadian Foundation for Innovation. We want to ensure that if you come to Canada to do research, you have all the best tools in all the best facilities that you would need to achieve success. And we're improving the linkage between public sector research and private sector needs. For instance, through our new Centers of Excellence for Commercialization and Research, we are helping companies partner with universities and colleges to access research networks, to use their facilities, and to take advantage of the young, brilliant talent that is at our universities and colleges. Also, through our business-led networks of Centers of Excellence, we are supporting collaborative research that is very focused on the specific needs of a business or a business sector. We have one of the most advantageous systems in the world for tax credits for science and research and development. In 2007 alone, it amounted to $4 billion in tax credits. We've put forward $500 million into the next generation of health records keeping technologies, $1 billion into clean and green energy technologies like carbon capture and storage. And so today we are celebrating our strengths by funding research through the Canada Excellence Research Chairs program, because again, it is our science leaders and our scientists that put a face to the sometimes impenetrable science that can lead to the great successes that shape this nation's history. We're attempting to attract top-tier international talent and helping Canadians connect to the international flow of ideas, innovation, and talent through our new Vanier Canadian Graduate Scholarships. Now, this scholarship is available to 500 scholarship applicants and amounts to $50,000 each of the next 3 years. And by the way, I have to tell you that I was very excited this week to learn that in addition to Dr. Stephen Hawking coming to Canada, the Perimeter Institute of Theoretical Physics announced the appointment of 9 additional distinguished research chairs who are also coming to Canada from universities all around the world to do research right here. Our plan, the Prime Minister's strategy of 2007 forward, is working. Canada invests more in universities and college research and development than as a proportion of gross domestic product than any other country in the G7. We are second only to Sweden in the OECD, as well as ahead of many of our trading partners and allies. So we in Canada are very proud of that record. And we do this because of the government's firm and deep commitment to science and technology. As set out in our government's science and tech strategy, these investments have been guided by the principle of fostering partnerships among researchers and across disciplines, focusing on exceeding international levels of research excellence. The legacy of Canada's innovation and Canadian innovation has changed the way the world lives and prospers and works. From the light bulb to the telephone, from IMAX films to the BlackBerry, from insulin to stem cells, Canadian science, technology, and innovation takes a firm place amongst the greatest on the planet. This government gets that, this government wants that, and this government supports that. Every single budget this government has brought forward and tabled has demonstrated our recognition of our commitment to science, technology, research, and development. Indeed, the very creation of my portfolio as Minister of State for Science and Technology last October is a paramount proof of this government's firm commitment. Friends, our universities, colleges, industries, our scientists and researchers are the pride of this country, and with them, we are creating business opportunities for today and the future. With them, we are creating jobs for today and the future. The current economic difficulties will ultimately pass. They are not timeless. Canada will find itself stronger and more competitive than ever because of our investments in science and technology today. And the discovery that will come from them, my friends, will be timeless. And I thank you very much for your time today and the opportunity to speak with you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much,